So on November 26th, I saw this article in the mainstream media about Kurt Cobain, the lead singer of Nirvana. His daughter, Frances Bean Cobain, is in a legal battle now with her ex-husband over one of his rare guitars that her ex-husband said was a gift from her, but she wants it back. She wants her father's rare guitar back, and he's trying to keep it. And what I'm going to show in this video is how all of our mainstream media articles are coded by the system, what is called Gematria. Gematria, however you pronounce it. And basically what it is the practice of coding numbers into words and phrases. And every single day, our mainstream media is coded with this system. Our sports leagues are scripted this way. Our history is scripted this way. And even things such as the band Nirvana is all scripted by this system. So before we begin, let's take a look at what Gematria is and how it works so you can apply it for yourself. And I'll leave some links in the description as well, and I explain a little bit more in depth and whatnot. But the word Nirvana, right? It comes up with 4 things on this website that I'll leave a link to as well. But basically, right here, the English ordinal, all you do is you take N, which is the 14th letter, I, which is the 9th letter, R, which is the 18th letter, V, the 22nd, and so on, and you add them up, and you get 79. And the reduction way is Pythagorean gematria, which is based on numerology. So N is the 14th letter, so you take 1 plus 4, and that makes 5. And I is the 9th letter, that doesn't need to be broke down to a single digit. R is the 18th, so R would be 1 plus 8, right? R is the 18th letter. 1 plus 8, that makes 9. V, the 22nd, 2 plus 2 equals 4, and so on. And that's how you get this, the small way, the reduction way. These other methods are the reverse, which Z would be 1, Y would be 2, and so on. And this is the reduction of it. And it's important because the people who understand this knowledge and the people who use this knowledge, they believe in things such as above, so below, and it all goes back to God. And the reason that it does go back to God is because God in Gematria equals 26. That's why our alphabet is 26 letters and so on. But God in the reverse method equals 55. And look, this is what I'm talking about. As above, so below. God equals 55 in reverse the alphabetic order and also in reduction. And look what Satan equals. Satan equals 10 in the normal reduction and 55 in the alphabetic order, right? The complete opposite. God and Satan, complete opposite. Hell equals 17 in the reverse, the small way, right? Look what God equals. 17 in the reverse the other way. And heaven equals 55, just like Satan. And God equals 55 in the reverse the other way, you know? There's other examples. White House equals 133 and 137. Government equals 133, 137. President, the guy who goes to the White House, lives in the White House, 133. So, tons of other examples. Hopefully you understand more. Check out the links in the description. But Nirvana equals all of these things, and they're all super significant to what is going on. The Frances Bean in Gematria, or Frances Cobain, if I can do it. Frances Cobain, 79, 110. Look at Nirvana. 79, 110. And what's her husband's name? Isaiah Silva? Isaiah Silva. 110, 79, 47. Look at Nirvana. 47, 79, 110. He has all of these connections to Nirvana, and he's her husband, right? And Frances Cobain equals the same as Nirvana. She's the daughter of Kurt Cobain, the lead singer of Nirvana, who supposedly killed himself, which I'm not so convinced, but it's all speculation. I don't truly know what goes on with some of these Hollywood people who always die by the numbers, such as Kurt Cobain died on. Kurt Cobain died on 4/5, 45 days after his birthday. Everything about Kurt Cobain and a lot of his songs was all about love. He was even married to Courtney Love, right? And Courtney Love, supposedly there's been theories that Courtney Love murdered him, which I'll explain in a second, and why she's connected to Nirvana as well. But it's all about love, and the word love in Gematria love equals 54, right? In two different forms. And if you write out 54, it even equals 54 and 45. And if you write out 45, it equals 54 and 45, right? And he died on 4/5, 45 days after his birthday. Think about it. Courtney Love, heart-shaped box, love buzz. He had lots of stuff in regards to love. Anyway, let's look at Courtney Love and why she's so significant to Nirvana. Look at what's the first thing you notice on here? Her birthday, July 9th, 7/9. Remember what I just showed you in Gematria. Nirvana equals 79. That's why Courtney Love's birthday is 77/9. Isaiah Silva, 79. Frances Cobain, 79. It's because it's all synced up to Nirvana. The word murder equals 79. Also 34. Like Nirvana equals 34, the small one. Right? Perfect. Fitting. Courtney Love's birthday, 7/9. Fitting there would be all this stuff about her supposedly murdering Kurt Cobain. The word suicide also equals 34. Think about Kurt Cobain supposedly committing suicide. Suicide equals 34, just like Nirvana. Also, how interesting is this? Kurt Cobain died 3 months and 4 days before Courtney Love's birthday. 3 months and 4 days, also 95 days. And once again, remember, suicide equals 34. Nirvana equals 34. He died 3 months and 4 days before Courtney Love's birthday. Also 95 days. April 5th is the 95th day of the year even. Also, what's interesting is that in other parts of the world, they write July 9th as 9/7, a lot like 97. And if you write out Kurt Cobain's full name, Kurt Donald Cobain, it equals 97. And it's also interesting that it equals 65, because if you write out Christ Novoselic, that also equals 65. He was born in the year 65. Dave Grohl also equals 65 in Gematria. Foo Fighters equals 65. Grunge music equals 65. Frances Cobain with the S exception equals 65, just like Isaiah Silva. And basically the reason of that is S is the only letter that has to be broke down twice. S is the 19th letter. 1 plus 9 is 10. So, and then you'd have to either do 1 plus 0 is 1, or it could be 10. So S is an important number. See the links in the description. I explained a little bit more about it, I believe. But, just interesting. All of these 65s, regardless if you even add these in here. Kurt Cobain's full name, 65. Dave Grohl, Foo Fighters. Christ Novoselic, he's born in 65. And to add even more, Kurt Cobain, just Kurt Cobain then, his name equals 114. Dave Grohl's birthday is January 14th, right? And then just the word Novoselic equals 114 in Gematria. One thing I forgot to mention in regards to 65, and there's been so much predictive programming and everything else in regards to the death of Kurt Cobain and other things, but 65 seconds into the Weird Al song, Smells Like Nirvana, this kid right here rips off the head of the guy in the audience. For what reason? Remember, Kurt Donald Cobain equals 65, Dave Grohl equals 65, Christ Novoselic equals 65. It's an important number to Nirvana, and in 65 seconds into the Weird Al video that came out before Kurt Cobain blew his head off, supposedly, this guy rips the guy's head off. What are the odds of that? Predictive programming. Kurt Cobain also, even in the Come As You Are video and some other stuff, on one of the album covers, he's even wearing this shirt, Flipper, right? From the band Flipper. And look, Flipper, right? But when you flip the image and flip it, it's 9/11, and it looks like an airplane flying into the towers here, right? 9/11. It's no mistake. These people, if he didn't know what was up at the time, they murdered him by the numbers. Sure seems to me that he's probably still alive, but who knows? I wonder even if this kid here, who is Francis Bean's ex-husband, right? The guy who has Kurt Cobain's guitar. It just makes me wonder. He does everything just like Kurt Cobain in this video here. He even resembles Kurt Cobain, other than like his hair color's different. And it just makes me wonder. Possibly this is like really his other kid or something else. Maybe they weren't even really married. That's just some bullshit media story that we got about these people being together when they're probably brother and sister. I mean, that's all speculation. So don't take my word on that. But I'm just saying, it wouldn't surprise me if this was really his son and Kurt Cobain is still alive somewhere doing well, just like Tupac. And I mean, look at that. 9/11, predictive programming, Kurt Cobain. And I mean, 9/11 all by the numbers. Absolutely ridiculous. We'll show you a small amount of it here. The World Trade Center is supposedly 110 stories tall. Osama bin Laden equals 110. They were proposed and approved by a Rockefeller. Rockefeller equals 110. The word president equals 110. 911 equals 110. The Flight 77 supposedly hit the 77-foot tall Pentagon on the 77th meridian, exactly 77 minutes after takeoff. And it was the Pentagon 77 stories tall. How ridiculous. September 11th equals 77 in Gematria. All kinds of stuff. It's all coded by the numbers. Nirvana showing it in the In Utero album. What's the In Utero is? In Utero, 42. Kurt Cobain, 42 in Gematria. Oh man, there's always just so much going on with it. Let's see what else I forgot here. This Kurt Cobain guitar is also a Martin D18E is what it's called. Francis Bean Cobain equals 132, just like what this guitar is supposedly called. There was also this guy, El Duce, if you've ever watched the Kurt and Courtney documentary, and on this documentary, he says that he knows who killed Kurt Cobain, and it was somebody named Alan. And then he dies 2 days later after being filmed, saying that it was Alan who killed Kurt. And he plays a show at a place called Al's Bar, and then later that night he supposedly gets hit by a train and dies. Now, how suspicious does that sound? You know, he he says Alan killed Kurt, and then 2 days later he plays a show at Al's Bar, and then he ends up getting hit by a train. I personally think that all of it is just that whole documentary and everything else. Kurt Cobain, Tupac, these deaths were used in order to try to help awaken people. I really feel like there's an agenda to awaken people, but only on certain terms. You know, they don't really teach anybody about gematria, but they teach people about conspiracy theories and everything else. And look at when Donald Trump has been the president, it's been all about conspiracy stuff, and it's just really blown up everywhere. They want people to know about a lot of what's going on, but they don't want to tell people the full truth. And guys like Donald Trump are just part of it. He's playing his role in all of it. He was selected as the president, not elected, and stuff like that. For example, he won the election on the anniversary of the Berlin Wall falling down. The guy who wants to build the wall, and then after he wins, they bring back the TV show, the game show called The Wall. They come out with movies, The Great Wall of China, another movie called The Wall, all types of wall symbolism. Everybody is getting, old pussy grabber, everybody's getting sexual allegations against them right now. And nobody's getting in trouble. They're all just getting fired, right? Because that's all part of the Donald Trump narrative from The Apprentice and everything else. Getting fired. It's all just a big riddle. And they want people awake to a certain extent, but I don't think they want people to understand everything. Because if they did, why would they make a movie like The Number 23 with Jim Carrey, where they actually show you a lot of what is truly going on in this world, but then they make him look like a crazy person? And the method that they use in that episode also makes him look like a crazy person because he says that I can't even remember how he gets to the word pink. He uses gematria, but in a crazy way. Like he says, red and white make pink, and if you add up red and you add up white, it equals 23 or whatever. But in reality, if you just write out pink, pink equals 23. You don't have to do it in a crazy way. Pink equals 23. So there's a definite agenda. They want people to, it's almost like they mock us. They want us to understand it, but they don't want us to fully understand it. That's the way it seems. And, guys like Donald Trump, it's all part of the plan. So anyway, another thing I documented in here was that Lane Staley, the lead singer of Alice in Chains, he died on the same day as Kurt Cobain, exactly 8 years later. They both died on April 5th. Just what are the odds that two big Seattle bands, their lead singers, they both die from, you know, or they're both known for doing lots of heroin and everything else, and then they both die on the exact same day? Seems fishy. And Lane Staley in Gematria equals 139. He died 139 days before his birthday. In regards to Tupac Shakur, what's happening out here? Tupac Shakur, his name equals 139, and he died on 13/9, September 13th. He even died 213 days after releasing his last album, All Eyes on Me, that he released on 2/13. There's a whole lot more going on with Tupac, but I just wanted to point out this 139 reminded me of Tupac. You know, his name equals 139, dies 13/9. Lane Staley equals 139, dies 139 days before his birthday. Freemasonry also equals 139 in Gematria. And the the Freemasons, at least high-ranking Freemasons, because they all lie to each other in order to gain knowledge or whatever, you know what I mean? So at least high-ranking Freemasons and also, people such as Donald Trump and the people who are ruling over us, they do everything intertwined into Freemasonry. They run it through Freemasonry. So just interesting in regards to 139 and how it connects to Freemasonry. But we'll leave the video at that. Hopefully you understand what I'm talking about. Apply this knowledge for yourself. Please check out some links in the description. But I mean, it literally happens all of the time. All of these celebrities, they always die coded by the numbers. Our media, our sports leagues, our history, it's all scripted by this system. And we just need more minds applying this knowledge, finding more examples, and eventually we can, expose it, hopefully put an end to it, or figure out what the exact point of using all of it is and use it for the greater good instead of using it in a bad way and watching people get murdered by the numbers and living in some type of universal type code or whatever is truly going on. You know, just the more people that understand this, the more we can collectively understand the the true nature of how it works and what is going on and why it's being done and how to put it into it. Hopefully that makes sense. But it's very simple. Please check it out, apply it for yourself. Have a good one. Peace.